a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh of a lie, when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. It's stuff like this, words like this, which incinerated the controllers over the people during Christ's time. Christ was letting them know these people in position aren't for your interest. They are warring against you. They have an intention to destroy you. And how can you believe them over me? That's what Christ was stating here. This is why some people get upset or feel a certain type of way when I don't take a lot of these events or stories seriously. Because I'm not all triggered and all up, because I understand that they are the father of lies. I know who their fathers are, and they're the children of liars. So I'm not going to get caught up into their narrative, only for them to come 2 or 3 years later and say, well, yeah, some new news came in and everything we told you a few years ago really wasn't like it was told. But yet it affected your life. You moved on it as if it was truth. So don't get mad at me. Don't get upset with me because why? We've been tricked over and over and over and over again. And now I see clear not to fall for the lies anymore. You're going to tell me for the last 2 years, everything was about this code. Everything was about getting an antidote and doing all this stuff. And soon as the NFL playoffs start, all of the mandates and all the provisions that was on these players to keep them safe were dropped. You mean to tell me that a code or a sickness of biblical proportions conveniently takes the back seat for the NFL playoffs? But I told you all. And now, conveniently, another event to get your mind off of what? The deception, the lie that have affected all of our lives the last few years. So there's a few scriptures. They're liars. But then you got to go into the who in Revelation, the who. The who. We know their intentions, they're liars. And then you got to point out the who. Well, this is why Christ's words resonated. Revelations 2:9, he told John, on the Isle of Patmos, I know thy works, thy tribulation, and thy poverty. I know how our people are suffering, but thou art rich. Why? Because they can strip everything from us, but you know what they can't take? The Spirit of God. They cannot take that away. We believe him and his word over everything that comes out of their lying mouth, and they can't stand it. Because why? To believe in their narrative is to all in all fall and be destroyed by it. By us dealing with the truth, being hedged by the truth, who's Christ, we're protected from their evil. See, you must bite into their fruit of good and evil. You must participate in it. And that is what gives Satan and his agents access to you. Don't bite into their lies. I take their news with a grain of salt. It's corporate bought, and there's no true journalism in this earth. You fall for it, and this is what's wrong with the population. The population falls for it and get triggered and begin to do what? Instigate and fight with the population as if the population lied to you. No, you take that paranoia, crazy mind over there and deal with the people who triggered you or fired you up against the system. I don't have nothing to do with that. They told you to put on this or take that. And now you're going to look at me, and now because you fell for the lie, you expect me to participate in your lie? Like, no. You're not going to affect me. You're not going to get in my space and tell me what to wear and what to do and all that. You're not going to tell me nothing, because why? You've been lied to. And now you're upset because you're out there on an island by yourself with all the news coming out with what might happen to you. And now you're being triggered against the people who knew better. that was your fault. Follow the liar and stop blaming your brothers and sisters and those who are amongst you who you'll need down the line. Next, Revelations 2:9 says, I know thy tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So we understand the father of lies, and we have an indicator on what? The temples they'll be cooking up their lies under. See? Now there's people and ideologies that we can now point to understand if they are in charge, if they're dealing with the media and all that, we are not to believe them. Right? And then the last thing, Psalms 55:20. This is just the Bible. Being a Bible person. Hence the reason why, to some degree, they would like to ban this also, the Bible. Okay. Let's read this real quick before I segue over. The last thing in prophecy, when you read Psalms 55:20. Psalms 55:20 reads, and don't forget, they did the same thing to the North American Indians. Came over here, peace treaties, and the next thing you know, used disease and all these other things to do what? To take the land, to bring forth an agenda. And this is why the Bible have warned us. Let me tell you, their greatest tool is media. Nothing is as it seems. And what are we going to witness in a few years? We're going to see all these Afghanis that was let loose. We're going to see these Ukrainians that was let loose, and you're going to realize that all these so-called refugees will be incentivized against the citizens, wrecking shop, and you're going to hear on the news, well, we didn't know that we were letting Al-Qaeda in. We didn't know that ISIS had a few cells in the refugees, and now they're going to start probably imploding the country, claiming that others, that terrorists came into the country during these events of helping people. Watch what I'm telling you. And they're going to start pulling America down. Babylon has fallen one piece at a time, aimed towards God's people. And who suffers more than any other people under any event? Poor people. Our people. This is why Biden and the others want you in jail. This is why they want you on drugs, so that you're delusional and cannot defend yourself from what's coming. And this is what it says last but not least, Revelations 2:9. Psalms 55:20. And don't forget, it says, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And it says, don't fear the things that thou shalt suffer in Revelations 2:10. The devil shall cast some of you into prison. They will make anything a crime in our neighborhood just to get us in the prisons and then get us under their hallucinogens, to get tortured. These are hell chambers in jail, and to get the stuff up in people, which is what? Lethal stuff they're going to start putting in people very soon, allegedly. Watch out. So you have to know their true objectives. Being what? Liars, murderers. Right? Psalms 55:20 reads, He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He has broken his covenant. Even the Bible tells us we can't trust him. There's never an agreement he goes into with the intentions of carrying the agreement out. It's only what? Him gaining ground before the next deception. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. And you notice how the news, they're always smiling and, you know what I mean? They're monotoned, or they're pushing an agenda as if it's harmless. But usually it's the media. It's the media that pushes the agendas to get all the people spiritually involved in their bloodshed and war against another country. Smoother than butter. Urging the earth towards war. Their words, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. That's psychology. But war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were there drawn swords. At the end of it, Esau is seeking to use the sword to bring forth a new world order, and that sword predominantly is aimed at Jacob, our people. Don't believe the hyperbole. Don't believe the hype, my brothers and sisters. Everything is a lie, and at the end of it, whoever they have come over, it's going to be what? Less for you. And that's what it's about. It's about doing what? Aggressively using the tactics of these events to align a population that's racist in the countries they are against the children of Israel. Okay? Against the children of Israel. So now